Ready, we'll just start.
We're ready.
Okay, this is we're calling to order a technology committee meeting of the Hamilton County 911 Emergency Communications District. This call is being recorded, and I want the committee members to be able to hear what's going on, and we'll do a roll call on all of our votes. Okay, John, I'll turn it over to you or Seth.
Just for the record, I'll go ahead and take roll. Chief Phillips,
Oh yeah, thank you for that. We do call the roll here.
Dr. Brown, Chief Rogers,
Here.
Brad Tucker.
Here.
I think I'm on now, so show him on the call too, John.
I'm going to turn it over to Seth since this is all his bellywick, and let him walk us through these two agenda items.
Okay, good. And you saw that Dr. Brown came on the call?
Oh, Dr. Brown, there he is. Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, Seth, go right ahead, brother. And I'll tell you what, in order for me not to ask questions and Brad not to be mad, explain to the committee, why you're wanting to switch. You mentioned that there's been some issues with the present company, which we liked when we took them over. So just run us through all that, brother. Thank you.
There are a couple things the current company is not doing that we thought they should be doing. One of which they're not aggregating the logs from our firewalls and our antivirus, which we'd like to do. And we knew that going in, they didn't do that. But this company that we're talking about today, they will do that as well, which would be very beneficial. We were looking at buying a system to do that anyway, so it makes sense just to combine it all into one. The other thing we've discovered is they purely are looking at traffic going out to the internet and coming in from the internet, which sounds all fine and dandy. However, when we had our cybersecurity assessment done a couple of months ago, I guess now, we had 4 guys here for an entire week getting all up in our equipment, and not a single time did any alarm bells go off at the company that's monitoring us, because it was all internal. There was nothing going out to the internet, so everything looked fine to them. And we had alarm bells going off from our antivirus and our firewalls and all that stuff, but we have no way of monitoring those right now. So we'd already been looking around anyway at changing. And so that kind of really sealed the deal for me. It was like, well, they're not doing exactly what we would prefer them to be doing. So I think they provide a useful benefit, but it's not what we want to do. So,
well, just explain to us, because we have a lot of confidence in you and our technology team, and we know you stay on top of things. So just that explains a lot. But go ahead for the committee and give your presentation on what you want to do and what it costs.
well, we've talked to several different companies, one of which is Avertium, which we've done business with in the past. They're a very well-known, well-respected cybersecurity company. That's all they do is cybersecurity. It's not like it's a side gig or anything. We did business with them when they were called Sword and Shield. They were based out of Knoxville. Since then, Sword and Shield and 2 other companies were bought out and merged into one company, which became Avertium. But their main operation center is still in Knoxville. So that's a benefit to us in that if we had a major event here that required boots on the ground assistance, they've got guys 2 hours up the road in Knoxville. Most companies are got to fly people in, and so their response time will be much better than anyone else we could talk to. So Avertium, they do business with, I believe, Blue Cross, Cigna, Erlanger, lots of big companies here. It's not like they're a little fly-by-night organization. They're a big organization. So what they have offered is a 24/7 security operations center. So they will install what's called a SIEM, which is a piece of software that takes all of our security events from all of our systems here, aggregates them together into one system, and then it shoots it up to their security operations center, and they monitor everything up there basically. And if they see something that alerts and they discover it's a false alarm, they don't even call us. They just clear the alarm and go about their business. If there's something of concern, then they get on the phone, they call us, tell us what's going on, and they assist us in triaging to figure out how to resolve the issue. So a big part of that is we will have access to that same system, so we can do our own research investigations as we want to. But the main purpose of them, number one, is to run that SIM software, which is pretty complicated. But most importantly is they'll be our eyes and ears 24 hours a day when we can't do that here. You know, if something happens right now in the middle of the night, unless it takes CAT or something down, no one's going to call us. So this type of scenario, they should know something's going on before it becomes a bigger issue, if that makes sense. They'll see the beginnings of something bad happening before it turns into a catastrophe. So that's basically in a nutshell. So they do offer other services above and beyond this, which I think we put in here in the agenda, that we're going to research those services later on when other things start coming up for renewal. But this will get us in the door and get the foundation set of what we need to be doing.
Okay, you did mention with the current company, you didn't like it because they were internally doing some stuff and setting off your firewall alarms and stuff, but does this fix that?
No, the current company did not see anything happening internally. That was the problem. We had guys here that were intentionally breaking stuff, trying to hack into our systems on our behalf.
Right.
And the current company did not see that happening.
But what I'm saying, well, this new company, you think they would capture that?
Correct, because our endpoint protection, our firewalls were all sounding off alarm bells when those guys were here. And those systems and others will feed into this new system. So they would have seen all that.
Okay.
So.
Let me ask committee members, any of you guys have questions or? No, Ted, you're good. Brad, you're good. I thought you had 18 pages of questions.
Seth covered every one of those in his presentation.
All right. Dr. Brown, you're good?
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds like this is a very proactive company that's preventative in nature. So they'll get set before it escalates, and that's what you want with something like this. So
I will tell you, we talked to Mission Critical Partners as well, because they do this kind of work as well, in addition to all the other things they do. And the reason I did not want to go with them is because they're the ones that usually do our cybersecurity assessments. And I didn't think it was right to have, you know, the people doing the assessment and the people watching being the same people. That doesn't make sense to me. So I think we should always keep those separate.
I think that's smart, Seth. Plus, I like the idea that these people are dedicated. This is all they do, like you were saying, and they're doing it. They have a big presence in Chattanooga. We're not their only customers, so they're, not going to be afraid to come down here when we need them.
Correct. Yeah.
And, because we, again, this committee puts a lot of trust in you three directors, and even without wisdom teeth, you seem like you are on top of everything, Seth. And he just had his wisdom teeth out, doctor, and he's been out a week. So we were worried that he had any wisdom left in order to do this. But you guys have really stayed on top of this. Now tell the committee real quick. I think we're under budget or right at budget on this, and also it's like a state bid. It's one of those contracts that we don't have to bid. So tell us all that real quick.
Correct. Yeah, we budgeted 60,000, and the quote came up to 57,600. So right on budget. And then it's being sold through the Omnia Partners pricing system, which we bought tons and tons of stuff off of. It's a normal. In fact, that's probably the main one that we buy products off of, main contract. So
it's a consortium. It's one of those.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been pre-approved by the state, so we're good. It's like a state bid.
Yep.
Okay, on this side, anything else from any of you committee members on this one?
So what happened to the other company, and how did you offload them?
We're still using them as of today, so our contract's not up until December.
Okay,
So I wasn't gonna tell them anything until we pull the trigger on this one.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we just signed a 1-year contract with them.
okay,
last year,
all
so-
right. So
What
from
we're
a
looking,
security
what will
stand-
this be? Well, go ahead, Richard, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. That's a good one. What's the term?
Of this contract,
Yes,
it's just a 1 year.
1 year too, so yeah. So you'll do the necessary security protocols once you pull the trigger to get them out of our system, right?
Correct. Yeah, they have some little devices that are installed here that send the data back to them.
Right.
So we'll just uninstall those devices and ship them back. So it'd be easy pull out.
Okay,
Okay, gentlemen, what I'm looking for then is a motion to send this to the full board. I think we're meeting now because we want to get this on the full board meeting in November. So I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Brad Tucker recommends this, and who seconds?
I'll second.
And Ted seconds. And roll call, John. Can you hear me,
My
brother?
bad. Yep, sorry about that.
Okay.
Chief Phillips,
Yes.
Dr. Brown,
yes,
Chief Rogers,
Yes.
Brad Tucker.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And I think you got another item too, right?
Yes, the second one's pretty cut and dry. Our VMware software, which is what runs all of our virtual servers. It's up for renewal. It's a little bit more this year than usual because we've got 3 different contracts and they all end at different times. And so I had them go ahead and co-term them all so they'll end at the same time from now on, which makes it a lot easier paperwork wise.
Okay.
So it actually ended up pretty close to budget anyway. We budgeted 22,000 and it came up to $22,503.98.
Yeah. In government work, that's in budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. Again, I'll entertain a motion to send this to the full board.
Motion.
Ted Rogers makes the motion
Second.
and Brad Tucker seconds. Said roll call, John.
Chief Phillips.
Yes.
Dr. Brown,
yes.
Chief Rogers,
Yes.
Brad Tucker.
Yes.
Okay, great. Both these items will be on the November 10th full board meeting then. John or Seth or Jeff, anything else that you need to talk about while we're together?
I don't have anything.
Eddie, we were gonna hire a cybersecurity person. What's the status of that with Seth and all?
Yeah, let John explain us. He and I talked about that the other day and.
Okay,
I'd rather do that off. I'd rather
I'd
do that offline if we could.
okay.
This is a
All
recording. I'd rather not.
Okay.
I can call you, Dr. Brown, and let you know, sir.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
You might call Dr. Brown. I think nothing's changed from when you and I talked, has it, John?
No, sir.
Well, when you get time, just call all 3 of them and let them know what's going on.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
All
It's
right.
Nothing serious, guys, but we want to
Yeah.
talk about it. Okay, anybody else have anything else?
Negative.
Okay, great. Well, I think that I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
All right, all in favor, hang up.